We all know about the toilet paper shortage, but what would you do if your client is manufacturing toilet paper and they have all kinds of deadlines and manufacturing issues in the midst of this crisis? Welcome to the EnviroTalk show. Hey, we're here talking about all kinds of environmental issues that we're faced with in this industry, and especially in the midst of this crisis. But the EnviroTalk program, we're here just discussing some of the challenges we're facing in the midst of the pandemic. My name is Travis Bowman. I coordinate environmental workshops, the Enviro workshops. You can check out our website, EnviroWorkshops.com. But we train environmental professionals all over the globe. We've been on 6 different continents, 20 different countries, and we've seen about 20,000 environmental professionals register for one of our workshops. And so the EnviroTalk, we're really here just chatting with some of our speakers who are world-renowned in their different segments of the environmental market. Really, when it comes down to dealing with pollution for soil, groundwater, or air, our speakers are well-known and respected leaders in the industry. So today, well, actually, before I get to our guest today, check out also, we're hosting a global summit. So check out EnviroSummit.com. We'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And so we'll have some of the speakers from around the globe coming into Charlotte and really addressing some of the accelerating trends that they're dealing with in their regions of the world. So check out EnviroSummit.com also. Well, today we're joined with one of our air monitoring sponsors that teaches at our workshops and does training around air monitoring. But Amy Marshall is with a company called All4. Welcome to EnviroTalk, Amy.
Thanks, Travis. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about All4. That's ALL, the number 4. So people are looking up the website. But tell us a little bit about what you guys do in the air monitoring industry.
Sure. So All4 is an environmental consulting firm. We specialize in air quality consulting, but we're also growing our multimedia EHS capabilities. We were founded in 2002. We have over 80 staff, and we have offices in Philly, Atlanta, Houston, Washington, D.C., and as of a year ago, Raleigh. So even though we have, 5 regional offices, our client base is nationwide. So, for example, we're working on projects in Oregon and Washington right now. And we work across a lot of industry sectors. So a lot of our work is forest products, but we've also got power, food and beverage, chemical, refining. So we do work across a variety of different sectors. So we focus on regulatory strategy, permitting, compliance, as you mentioned, monitoring, modeling, and then we also provide web-based air quality training. So we've got an Air Quality 101 that we do, and then we've also got continuous monitoring system training. So I've been with All4 for about a year, got about 25 years total. And when I joined All4, they sent out a press release. And so I thought that was really cool. I forwarded it to my parents, and my parents sent back an email and said, it's going to be All5 soon.
Not just All4 anymore, it's All5.
That's
great. And Eric Swisher is the one who gives the technical training at our workshops for All4. He's fantastic. So look, here we are in the midst of a pandemic. You all have a range of different clients, but talk to us about what you all are doing in the midst of this COVID-19 crisis that we're all dealing with globally, but even, of course, specifically here in the U.S. with you all's clients. What are you guys doing?
Yeah. So, we've all been working from home since March 16th. We have 5 offices and about 15 people that work out of their home normally, but now we've got, 80 plus people working out of our houses. But we were already using, Skype and Teams and GoToMeeting to make sure that we were, staying related and having good communication and, seeing your coworkers still on the screen, during meetings, and even, now clients, we've been having video conferences with clients since we can't go to facilities and meet. them, has been good too. So we're still hard at work on projects from our home offices. We have a Monday morning meeting that's an all staff meeting. So now we have, 76 different tiles, on the screen instead of, maybe 20 because we've got, everybody calling in from an office. So it's been good, but our systems were robust enough. So we haven't, seen any impacts from everybody, on the VPN and getting files off the servers in our Philly office. But, we do some on-site support, whether it be, just kind of on-site compliance related support or, method 9s or stack testing support. So, we've had to sort of figure out some interesting solutions there. We talked about using Google Glasses to do audits where we had somebody on site, kind of walk around and look at things, for us. We've had some clients actually send us computers in the mail. So we've
really,
our COO Kevin Hickey is the only person in our Philadelphia office just because he, needs to be there to get the mail and whatever. And so, we had a client send us their computers so we could help them with their, monitoring data. We did actually have somebody go to a client and do a method 9 the other day. So they had the gloves and the mask and they were, doing the social distancing. But, sometimes if there were clients that just said, we can't have you on site right now, due to our safety guidelines, we've transitioned those folks to other projects. So, we've got a good backlog of work and, we were already working across offices. So it's kind of, the name of our company is All4. And so it's kind of, all for one and one for all is,
But isn't that I think that's the Three Musketeers, right?
Oh, but wasn't there D'Artagnan the fourth?
Exactly, but then there was a fourth that kind of came in there.
Yep.
Well, hey, so you talked about some of you all's clients in related to just the pulp and paper, but I imagine some of those get into toilet paper manufacturing and some of the. I mean, are you all consulting clients in the midst of the how they're dealing with the COVID and talk to us about some of the related projects regarding COVID-19.
Yeah. So, obviously people are worried about missing deadlines, related to like RADAs and stack tests if they can't get contractors on site. So we're, helping with some of those things, different states and even EPA have issued enforcement guidelines or, kind of said, all right, if you miss a monitoring or a test or something during this time, we'll exercise enforcement discretion. But what all that guidance didn't say is you're free to, go over permit limits or, have releases above, what's allowed. And so, when you do permitting projects, you project what you think you'll be operating in the future after you do this project. So obviously, a pandemic wasn't in anyone's business projections. All this demand for, toilet paper and personal care projects and, materials that go into, masks and hand sanitizer and whatnot, just kind of wasn't in the cards. And so, a lot of our clients have actually canceled outages that they had planned this spring. One, because they don't want to have 1,000, 1,500 contractors on site right now.
Sure.
Two, because they need to keep manufacturing and they're kind of going gangbusters right now and operating at full tilt. And so we do have a client that we're working with that's concerned that since they put off their outage and they're going at full tilt, they might go over a production limit that they had taken in a permit. So it's those kind of things where I think, documentation is important, communication is important. We're helping them think about, okay, you have this production limit in your permit, but how can we translate that into emissions? Are you actually, having a significant emissions increase if you go over this production limit? So, I think what's important if you have situations where you think you're going to have an issue related to COVID-19, that you you start your documentation and say, all right, what's my problem? How is it related to COVID? What am I doing to mitigate the impacts? What do I think the impact is? And then, get with legal counsel probably to talk through that. And then, talk to the regulatory agency and say, all right, look, I've got this situation, but I need to keep making my toilet paper.
Or the rest of us,
what
right?
What would you like me to do? Yep.
I wonder if your clients have ever seen anything like that. I know in my lifetime, I mean, I'm getting close to 50, but I don't think I've ever seen the toilet paper shortage like ever. I mean, this is just crazy to me. I don't know. It's
No.
funny.
Well, it's like, I live in we both live in the South. And so when there's an ice storm coming, or the dreaded wintry mix, everybody runs to the grocery store and, buys up all the milk and the eggs. But, in a couple of days it's back. And
right.
Prolonged period of the whole entire paper products aisle being empty.
I know. So crazy to me. It's the funniest thing. And it's not just like in this, it's like the whole country. So like, normally, like you said, a snowstorm comes through in a state or whatever, a few cities have a shortage, but this is the whole country. Yeah. So I can't imagine what your client is trying to deal with in the midst of this craziness. And I mean, we laugh about it, but it's probably a real problem for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the projects that we're working on that, a quote unquote normal project is, we're responding to some questions from the Oregon DEQ, and they're wanting some analysis from the pulp and paper mills in the state related to feasibility of controls while they're working on their regional haze state implementation plan. And so we're working with the Northwest Pulp and Paper Association. Georgia Pacific has two, mills in Oregon where, the Georgia Pacific folks in Atlanta are helping with this analysis. And they're like, we're busy like trying to make toilet paper, the mills. Can we have a little bit more time to respond to this other thing, that we're focused on right now? Can you give us a little more time to, fulfill this request?
Well, I was going to ask you about different states, and are you all seeing different regulations or just, different states responding differently to the COVID-19 crisis?
So we've actually, when all this started, we put together kind of a neat little tracking table. And so, we have different people across, different offices working in different states. And so we had people either call up, the permit writers and the compliance folks in different states, or go on the websites and see, how are different states handling this? Can we still get permitting done while all the people at the state agency are working from home? And so there's actually a couple of agencies that said, well, we're closed for business right now because the governor has shut everything down, but most of the agencies are still working. So they're figuring out, how to still be efficient and productive with all the staff working at home. Some of the staff don't have, agency issued laptops. So I was talking to a North Carolina modeler the other day, and he said, I actually had to go get my desktop from the office and bring it home and plug it in.
Do you really?
Yeah. So whether or not agency folks have access to the network is a question, but, they're accepting electronic submittals. Most of the agency have rules where they require a certain amount of hard copies, and you have to have an original wet signature. Some applications have to have a e-stamp, which is, I left all mine and I can't go to right now. So, they're cutting people some slack and saying, look, submit things electronically, send us the spreadsheets and things. When we all get back to normal, whatever that is, you can follow up with the required number of hard copies. So, a lot of the staff have their, phones forwarded to their cell phones or whatever. So I think it's just a matter of, keeping in contact through email, sending them, what they need electronically so they can, work on stuff from their desks at home. But, some of the states have issued, kind of statements on their websites and, again, nobody is giving you a license to, miss your environmental requirements. But, one of the state compliance folks I talked to, he said, we're not going to do anything that makes us look stupid. We got sort of a whole new view on what force majeure is, and
right.
That
is so true.
Yeah. Work with people. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good. It sounds like most of the regulatory agencies are being flexible and understanding in the midst of this craziness. So that sounds like that's what you guys are seeing.
Yeah. Another thing that we've been asked for from some of the state agencies, and also like the kind of the coalitions of regulators, is, all right, all of our staff's at home. We have people that normally go like do on-site inspections, or, the people that aren't sitting and writing permits or writing, rules and things. Can you provide any online training? And so we were giving the state agencies access to our Air Quality 101 recordings, thinking about, what kinds of things like this we can do and put up on our website. Have we done presentations at conferences in the past 6 months that we can just, record as a podcast and post? So, people are really interested in, getting the content on the web. And so we're putting up a new section of our website called our quarantine series.
Really?
And I think this webcast is going to be one of the first things that we link there. So.
Oh, that's great. Excellent. The quarantine series. I love it.
Yeah, that's Paul's brainchild. So.
Well, obviously the EnviroTalk program kind of came out of this whole quarantine stuff and the pandemic. And I think we're all just kind of just trying to make it up as we go, really. It's like, well, I got nothing else to do other than figure it out and pivot. Every company out there is in the same boat. So anyway. Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Amy, for coming on the program and just talking a little further about the quarantine and toilet paper and this. I honestly had not, certainly the toilet paper shortage is a problem for all of us, right? But I had not really thought about the production and the manufacturing and how crazy this has got to be for those companies like Georgia Pacific that you mentioned. So anyway, well, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And,
all right. Thanks, Travis. Thanks for having me, and stay safe.
Yes, you too. Stay healthy. Thanks so much, Amy. All right.
Bye.